It's Greg and Joel Fix the World. Because if you haven't heard, guys don't hang out anymore, they start a podcast. While they're at it, they're fixing the world and solving every problem you've ever had. Welcome to the show.
All right, so we're going to talk about the job market when you're over 50. And I'm going to come out and say it, there is none. There is none. I know that we're supposed to think, yeah, you can reinvent yourself. You have your network and your connections and all the skills you've been honing for your whole life. And that's probably true. But in my experience, none of that really matters when you're applying for a job. I'll give an example of why I think that's true. So when I was working at Amazon before the big layoff, my manager was about 15 years younger than I am. And it was fine there because he had kind of inherited me as part of a restructure. And it worked out fine. Like, he was a great guy, and I was great for him, and he was great for me. But I think had it not been a restructure, had it just been a situation where I'm applying for a job, no one wants to hire their dad. Like, he wouldn't be wrong for not wanting to hire a guy 15 years older. It's just, yeah, like that could give you some reasons to think maybe that's not going to fit on the team, right?
Do you think that's a cultural thing, not just at Amazon, but at any company these days where people get aged out and the workforce is younger than it was, and it's sort of a broad thing that's happening, not just Amazon, but everywhere, at every company?
Yeah, well, I don't think this is a new thing, right? Like, we used to think, like, it's a struggle. If you're over 40, it's hard to get a job. And that's always been the case. It's always harder as you get older, right? And now here we are in our 50s, and it's just a continuation of the same theme. And I don't think it's anything shocking. It just kind of sucks when you're living it.
It's sad, yeah. Well, I think we've both had a similar experience recently where we've had job interviews, multiple job interviews at one company, and everything's going great.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a go until it's not a go, or you get ghosted.
Yeah.
Or all of the above.
So shall we tell our stories?
Yeah,
I'll tell my story. So first it was to work as in sales at a seniors home, which is actually a good use of my skills because I'm a coach. I've done volunteer work with grief counseling. So I'm I'm quite well qualified to handle the kind of emotional conversations that families could be having when they're looking for a home for a senior.
So you're not a football coach. You're a different kind of coach.
Different kind of coach, yeah. Yeah.
It's not seniors football.
No. It's not. We can talk about my coaching a different time, but not that kind of coaching. No. So I had and the way this job opportunity came about is the way that it's supposed to. When you get a job that works out well, it's usually because it's a connection, and this was a connection. So there's a friend of mine who is in this industry, and he was contacted by a recruiter to see if he'd be interested in going after the job. And he's already doing this for himself. He's self-employed in this field of being an agent for a seniors placement. So he recommended me because he thought I would be good for it. And he asked me if I'd be interested, and I said yes because I thought I'd be good for it too. So he put me in touch with the recruiter, and then the recruiter put me in touch. The recruiter explained that there's going to be...
You just burped through your conversation.
I didn't burp at all.
Okay, just checking.
No, there was no burp there. So the recruiter explained that the way this is going to work, first I have to talk to him. If that's successful, he puts me through to the sales manager. If that's successful, she will put me through to the executive director. And if that's successful, then there's a regional VP of sales who just rubber stamps it. So it started with the recruiter. It was a good conversation. Then I had the conversation with the director, the regional sales director. That worked out really well. And then she put me in touch with the executive director, and that was an in-person interview working in the actual building where I'd actually be reporting to work. So I would be in her face every day.
How many people is that? How many layers is that?
So far 3.
It sounded like a lot.
Yeah. But so this interview went extremely well. It wasn't just an interview. So she had one of her colleagues from admin in the room. and we went way over the time. We were talking effortlessly for like 90 minutes. We were discussing start dates. She gave me a tour of the place. She introduced me to the staff. She brought me to my office where I would be working and introduced me to the assistant salesperson on my team.
Did she ever use the word when you started, when you?
Yeah, it was all when. In fact, all of their offices, they have these family collages. And she said, you're going to need to make one of these too.
For real?
It was all future talk. Like it textbook, the kind of signals you get when you're going to be getting the job. So that was on a Monday. So I figured by Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to be hearing something. And those were the quietest 2 days. Nothing happened. And then it just kind of occurred to me a lesson I learned a long time ago, which is that good news comes fast and bad news comes slow. And wouldn't you know it, when Tuesday became Wednesday, Wednesday became Thursday. And at this point, I decide, okay, I'm going to send a follow-up note to the recruiter, even though I know full well there is never a point to following up. Like, if they want you, they follow up with you.
Yeah.
If I have to follow up with him, hey, just keeping in touch, just seeing where things are at. Like, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change anything.
Yeah.
There's my curiosity about seeing where things are at has nothing to do with where they're at. And then the note I got back was very telling. Hey, Greg, thanks for keeping in touch. I hope to have more information for you next week about where you stand in the process. And
it's a lie. I hope to have more information.
Hoped. It was just hedging all along. I don't blame the guy. Like, he's just doing his job. He's probably just keeping me warm until it's an official no, right? But then I just knew that the no was coming. And then the next week, the no did come in the form of an email of, it was a hard decision. Thanks for coming. And I felt really confused and betrayed because the way the interview went, I can't imagine an interview going any differently when you're going to get the job.
Right.
So I was wondering, like, what did I miss? And I was just questioning, like, did that actually happen the way I thought? The tour and introduced to everybody? And I really don't know what happened. If I had to make a guess, it would be, and this is just a pure guess, is that even though I had the chemistry with the woman who gave me the tour, it's that the woman I spoke to before, who I didn't meet in person, maybe she didn't feel the same vibe. But like, I'm just guessing.
But it wasn't a bad vibe. It wasn't. It was nothing negative.
It was fine, but it wasn't as obviously, I'm getting hired. Like, there was no discussion of start dates and so on.
Do you ever ask prospective employers after you've been given a no? Do you ever ask them, can you give me any tips on why I got the no? Any critiques? Do you ever follow up on those things?
I don't. I know some people suggest it's a good idea to, and it can't hurt. But no. Have you done that? Have you ever gotten anything productive as a result of that question? That's what I'd want to know.
No, not really.
Yeah.
And generally, because I'm sort of insecure and vain, I don't want to know the flaws that they saw in me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of pretend I don't have any, and I don't ask the question to begin with.
Right.
But I had a similar situation. So, before we became professional broadcasters,
right, as we
broadcasters,
as we are.
I am a writer by day. I write a lot of financial articles, blogs, you name it, marketing material, whatever. And I applied for a position at a financial services firm.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the first level of interviews with an HR person. She actually, I think I sent out so many applications, I don't remember when I did, but she wrote to me and said, "Oh, we love your resume. You look very qualified. Let's talk." We spoke. It went great. She put me in touch with the next person, who would be actually, I think, my manager.
Yeah.
And that person said, "Oh, things are great, and we want to see a writing sample." And I did the writing sample, even though I was stuck in a city, because of an airline strike, whatever. I did it from my hotel room on a phone.
Yeah.
Making sure it looks professional.
You did what you had to do.
I did what I had to do.
You made it happen, yeah.
And I had a third interview. I felt it went okay. I didn't feel it went as great as the first two.
Yeah.
I also felt I was a lot older than these guys, and I made comments that reflected my age. I said something like, when the internet was new. That plays in my head a lot. When the internet was new is what I said.
Yeah.
But despite that, faux pas, I'll call it.
Yeah.
Everything seemed to go well. They said to me, we'll let you know in a couple of days.
Couple of days.
That was a week and a half ago.
So we'll let you know either way, right?
Either way. I always ask, will you let me know either way?
That's important. So you did put them to that. You will let me know either way.
Yeah.
That was unambiguous. They owed you a yes or a no.
I think even if you don't ask, they owe you a yes or no, if they are professional people.
Yeah. Morally, yes, but it's unlikely to
But
get
anyway,
the no. Yeah.
the whole point is, I mean, I guess there could still be an answer coming. I don't know. I almost don't care at this point. It's such a frustrating process of jumping through the hoops and putting your best foot forward and all the cliches you can think of.
Yeah.
When really, you get ghosted. You don't know why. Was there someone that much better than you, but they're afraid to tell you? Like, I don't know what it's about anymore. But I do feel, as a 55-year-old man, I'm kind of aged out of the job market. That, I don't have a lot of maybe technical skills that people younger than me have. I don't have Google Analytics certification. Like, there's certain things I don't do. I've never done as part of my writing career.
Yeah.
And could I learn them now? Maybe, all of that. But I just think I've been aged out.
Yeah.
Guys who are 35 don't want to hire, as you said, their dad.
Right.
So I don't know what to do anymore about that.
And I wonder how much of this is our age, or is it the job market also? Like, I wonder if we'd be talking to people 20 years younger, they'd say the same thing. A similar story, that they go in, the interview, and then they just don't hear back.
I think ghosting has become a huge
Yeah.
part of accepted behavior almost. It's
Yeah.
almost accepted, except
Yeah.
when you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that happens at any age, in any industry.
Like, I know that age makes a difference. Like, I'll give you a slightly unrelated example. Is that just 2 days ago, I dropped my daughter off at university. She didn't know anybody. And it's 2 days later, she's already made friends and already has a guy I think she's interested in.
Yeah.
This is in 2 days. Okay, so that's it would take me a lot longer at my age to accomplish what she does in 5 minutes. But that said, it's feeling a little bleak in terms of, well, you know what it is? I don't think that my race is completely run, but I think I really can't depend on somebody else to see my value. I think I'm going to have to just do something on my own. You know that whole, have you ever heard that we start off in a job, you always start off overpaid and then you end up underpaid, and that's when you look to do something else. And I think at our age it's flipped. We're going to have to look to start out doing something where we're underpaid. We're going to do something for ourselves. There's going to be no money at first. We're going to have to build it the hard way. And eventually, hopefully, then we'll end up somewhere good.
At least we're sort of in control of that, and we can start, stop, or any combination of that on our own terms.
We can, yeah.
So I'm okay with that to some extent. I still don't like the unprofessional, weird behavior that occurs in corporate life.
It's almost like we should do a podcast on the weird,
the
weird stuff that happens in corporate life, such as LinkedIn and the posturing. But as we have, and as we'll do again. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot to be this age and realize we're just not that appealing on the job market.
Yeah.
And even if we were super appealing, from what I understand nowadays, you're competing just with AI and automation of applications. Even recruiters who are, not the ghosting types, the ones who are doing their best to be humane about all this, it's got to be hard because they're overwhelmed with thousands of applications, right? I think it's really hard for all sides, the applicants and the companies. But that said, once you've made a connection with a human, like with you, in my case, they didn't ghost me. They just said no, and that was shocking in its own way. But there is no excuse when you have somebody come in and you even did a piece for them, right?
Yeah, free labor. I mean, so much of that happens. I read about it all the time. People just being asked and willing to provide free labor.
Yeah.
For what? For what purpose exactly?
And did you ever even get proper feedback on what you wrote?
No.
Or just that it was like, yeah, well, thanks, we got it, and great?
Well, I got a sort of a letter saying we acknowledge receipt of your submission.
Yeah.
And then when I met the last individuals of the interview process, I asked them, because again I'm vain and needy and insecure, and I wanted to know, like, what did you think of the blog I wrote for you?
Yeah.
And based on the vagueness of their answers, I was convinced they hadn't really read it. It was all very kind of, yeah, you seem to match the tone, and it looked great, and but it was like, if I'd asked them a pointed question about it, I'm sure they couldn't answer it. I'm sure they didn't really read it.
And by the way, I don't think that makes you needy or insecure. I think it just it makes you curious. You have a right to know. Like, they asked for this as part of the process. You wrote it.
Yeah, true.
You went to the trouble. It's like, okay, folks, you obviously asked for this for a reason. What did you think of it?
Yeah.
Did you read it? What is your criticism? I'm putting myself forward as a writer. I wrote something because you asked for it. What do you think of my writing? I think you had every right to expect that.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to come out of that with not even clarity. Did they actually read it? That would frustrate me if you put me through a hoop and you haven't even really there was really no reason to do that.
So
Right?
what do you think, Greg, when we do these conversations, we sometimes ask each other, well, how do we solve that, or what do we do with that, or what's next, or
Yeah.
so is it the building something on our own that's doesn't pay? Is that the idea, or do we?
Well, that will pay eventually, but I don't know that we're going to have the luxury of somebody overpaying us from the beginning, right? I say overpaying because when people start a job, they usually have a big learning period, but they still get paid for that. So technically, you could say they're overpaid. You're being paid to learn. We're not going to have that anymore, I don't think. I don't think anybody's just going to hire us at this age. I think we're going to have to be doing it ourselves and figuring out without the luxury of some company paying us. And maybe that's just the way it is now.
Here's a question for you. That job that you jumped through hoops for, that they told you need to create a collage of your family for, that they showed you where your office is going to be,
Yeah.
they probably showed you how the coffee maker works and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did you really want that job? Or was it just like Mr. Right now or Mr. Right? Was it that kind of thing?
You know, it's hard to know because, and I'm being honest, like, you get into this, at least I do, like this mode of, okay, I think I kind of talked myself
Yeah.
into it. Like, okay, I can see myself doing it and it's going to solve my immediate financial problems. And yeah, I mean, it must be destined because my friend got that call and it's meant to be, even though I don't believe that the universe is a paid employee looking out for me. I don't believe in the whole meant to be thing. But like, I had convinced myself, like, yeah, I'm ready for this and I want it. And I was legit disappointed when it didn't happen. Now looking back, like, is that my dream job that I didn't get? No.
I mean,
No.
doing sales at a retirement home.
Yeah. I mean, if you say it that way,
I'm saying it that
it's
way.
yeah, no, I hear you. When you say it that way, it's not cool. I mean, I think it would have called on a lot of skills that I have that I like using. Like, there's skills that I use in volunteer work that I don't get paid any money to do, that I just like being supportive to people going through a hard time. And I thought there would have been opportunity to do that. I'm not broken, that it's not happening. I got over it pretty fast. To me, it wasn't so much that I didn't get the job. It's that I kind of lost some confidence in my own ability to read a situation.
Yeah.
Like, what happened there? What happened that I was so sure and they were obviously nowhere near as sure? Or even if the executive director was sure she wanted me, I should have been astute enough to realize that there's still politics in a big company, that even though she's gung-ho for me, that doesn't mean it's going to happen necessarily the way I hope it does, just because it would solve my immediate pressure. And also, I'm single now, right? And I don't know if you know this, but
Take note, ladies.
yeah, if you're on the dating scene, I think women want to know that you've got some kind of career going.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not a sexy thing to say I'm between gigs. Yeah. So I kind of saw it that way. It was like that. It would be like a nice bit of stability. So to answer your question, I didn't love the job idea, but I think I loved a lot of things that I perceived it would give me. The lack of financial stress and some stability, and maybe a little bit more, interesting to the ladies.
You know what is sexy to the ladies?
Tell
I
me.
do sales at a retirement. But seriously, I'm going to tell you that in my scenario, I don't even really want that job. Like,
Yeah.
it's not exciting to me to write a blog about exchange traded funds and, fill in the blank financial service
Yeah.
scenarios. So, I don't really want it, but when I'm told I can't have it,
Can't have it. And
I
you-
get really upset about it.
And you, how dare you
Yeah.
ghost me for this job I don't want?
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
I can't even convince myself that I want it, but I only am angry that I didn't get it. That even makes me more angry about it.
I hear you.
So I don't know. We just keep.
We're going to keep plugging along.
on keeping
As
on.
usual, I feel, after about 20 minutes, we've solved some of the problems of
Yeah,
the world.
I think so.
So if you haven't subscribed, please do.
Please do.
One day we want to celebrate 12 subscribers, and you can be part of that. So please, please get on.
We're
in
already
on,
the first two.
Yeah, so get in on that action. Please do. Thanks for being here with us, and we'll thank you.
All right,
Always
thanks.
a good conversation, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.